الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين شفيع المذنبين ورحمة العالمين سيدنا ونبينا وشفيعنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الخيرين الفاضلين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله الحكيم في كتابه المبين وهو أصدق الصادقين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أرسلنا قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون. سلام. اللهم صل على محمد. This is the 7th ayat of Surah Anbiya, the 21st chapter of the Quran, in which Allah is saying that, O Prophet, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا قَبْلَكَ إِلَّا رِجَالًا. We have not sent before you any prophet except men. إِلَّا رِجَالًا نُوحِي إِلَيْهِمْ. We revealed and we sent revelation towards them. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask those people who remind you the reminders if you do not have any knowledge. From this ayat we come to a conclusion that all the Anbiya which have been sent in the past were only male figures. There were not any females. So many a times it is said that Islam is a male-dominated religion. But according to the Quran, if you see, it is not that way. It is Allah has created the human species into two. One is the male, the other one is the female, and has given to them responsibilities. And according to their responsibilities, Allah has given them a different nature. The nature of a man is different from the nature of a woman. Even the physical aspect of the male and the females differ. The mental aspects differ. The way of thinking differs. So once when I was teaching about the wudu, how to perform the wudu, I called a brother and a sister from the madrasa, and I told them, a male has to perform the wudu in this manner, that he has to put the water from the elbow, and a female has to put from inside the elbow. So they were just looking at me, said, why this difference? I said, this difference is because of the way the hand differs. So they did not understand. Then I put the hand like this for the boy, and you see this part, it is high. But when a lady puts the hand like this, her inner part of the hand comes above. And this is the reason naturally that if a child is given into the arms of the father, he is not so comfortable as he is comfortable in the arms of the mother. So Allah has said that whatever is very easy for you, so on top it is very easy. Similarly, sitting, standing, everything has changed. But the only part which has stopped the ladies from becoming a prophet is their greatest responsibility of being a part in the reproduction of the human cycle on earth. And they should be very proud of it. Because once they have this capability, they are a part of the khalaqiyat of Allah, the creationship of Allah. Allah is sending a new life into this world through the medium of the mothers. And since Allah has made them a medium for His own creation, He has given them one of the best things, and that is, at every birth of a child, all the sins of the mother are erased. So He gives you difficulties, but in response to it, after that He rewards you so much that you cannot even imagine. He forgives the mother because of the pains she has, and then when the child is born, the child is innocent and the mother is now sinless. So He has given an innocent child in the arms of a sinless mother, that you are now going to take care of this child. So in the creation itself, Allah has shown that whenever He wants someone to guide another person, He wants that person to be sinless first. So from this we come to a conclusion that infallibility is not only in the religion of Islam, but it is also in the nature of the human being. So it is a great thing, and upon that, the birth has erased the sins of the mother, and now she is suckling the baby. When she is suckling the baby, also Allah is rewarding. I have not seen a God more merciful than the God of Islam. These people say, the Christians say that our God is the most merciful. No, our is. The God of the whole creation, Allah, is the most merciful. Bismillahir Rahman Ar-Rahim. Why is merciful? Your sitting is ibadat. Your sleeping is ibadat. Your eating is ibadat. Your drinking is ibadat. Everything which you do, you are being rewarded continuously. So when you suckle the child, it is ibadat. You are giving food to a baby who cannot even ask for his own food. In fact, the only voice and the only language which Allah has taught the newborn is to cry. So crying is the natural language which we usually have. That's why we mourn for Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. Just like a mother, when the child cries, will come and ask the child, why are you crying? Similarly, when we cry, the people are going to ask us why we are crying. And we are going to tell them the whole story of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And when the story of Imam Hussain alayhi salam comes in front of him, he is going to ask the purpose of the martyrdom of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And when the purpose of the martyrdom of the Imam comes in his sight, he asks then, was the purpose of Imam Hussain similar to the purpose of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So at that time, when the child is born, he is given a very great faculty already present in him, and that is the nafs which has been already trained with the ilham of Allah. In Surah Wash-Shams you see, Wash-Shams وَالضُّحَاهَا وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا, and then the ayah says, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. So the nafs has been given to us with the ilham of fujur and taqwa, good and bad. So every person by nature knows what is good and what is bad. But no child knows by nature what is halal and what is haram. Everyone knows what is good and what is bad. For example, saying a lie is bad. Saying the truth is good. Eating is good. Not eating and starving is bad. So eating is good. The Nafs al-Mulhamah says that. But the halal and the haram doesn't come from us. It has to be given to us. And that is done by the prophets of Islam, by the imams of Islam, by the guides which Allah has sent. Why? Because our intellect doesn't reach the real cause for which Allah has made something halal and something haram. For example, eating the flesh of a donkey is makruh. Right? In Pakistan, it is sold in the place of beef. And some places, even dogs are being sold in the place of sheep. So anyway, I'm just going to tell you that these donkeys are makruh. Why? Because they have been created for a purpose. And that purpose is to carry heavy loads to an accelerated place, to a higher place. So even today you see that the places where the jeeps and the cars and the trucks cannot go, you see the donkeys carrying the heavy loads up the mountains. So if we start to eat these donkeys, then there will not be sufficient animals to do the purpose for which they have been created. Similarly, the horses are makruh. Why? Because they have been created to travel fast. And if we start to eat them, then the animals will become less. And they are born less too. On the other hand, eating crabs is haram. Why eating crab is haram? Because it is a scavenger. Lobster, it is a scavenger. And eating the shrimp is makruh because it is full of cholesterol. The haram animal, which is the pig and the other animals, are haram because there is something inside them because of which the Sharia has and the Prophet has told us it is haram. Now the science has come to a conclusion that there is a bacteria which cannot be killed at all. I do not know the details. But I know this much, that when the religion says that this is haram, that means there is going to be some kind of harm to the body. In other words, I would say, will a mother who is taking care of her kid give the kid a poison? She will sacrifice her life, but she will not allow anyone to give poison to her child. Allah doesn't want us to take poison. He's so Rahman, He's so Rahim. We think that He's burdened us with takalif and with laws and regulations, but in reality, He doesn't need anything. He has given everything to us so that we may grow, we may develop, and reach that perfection which Allah desires from us. If you look at the people around, even your children, oh, why so much of pressure, why so much? No. When you're praying the salat, there are hormones which are released in your body which you do not even know. When you start to perform the wudu, if you do it sincerely and with calmness, there are hormones. The dogs can detect a thief. Why? Because there are hormones which are released in the body of the thief, the nervousness and the other things, which the dog smells. Similarly, when we pray and when we recite the Quran, there are hormones of calmness which are released in the body. So maybe in the beginning of the salat you may be a little bit uncomfortable, but as you proceed, you will start to see the calmness enter into your body. Allah bi zikrillah tatma'innul qulub. So this body, which is a very complex body of a human being, releases. If you kiss someone, if you kiss a small child, there are hormones released. If you get upset, there are hormones released. If there is anger, there are hormones released. So from this I come to a conclusion that why Islam has stopped you from being angry. Because those hormones are going to affect you. They are going to harm you. On the other hand, be patient. Sabr, calmness. So these are the things which are going to be developed between the mother and the child from the beginning. And these are character building steps. How you teach your child to be calm. As you develop, and then the child, the mother speaks a language which the child speaks. Siyasat baat bhi hai na, siyasat baat. I'm not here a lot between you, but in Miami, I see some of the children who are boys, they speak like their mother. The same accent, the same way the mother speaks, the boy speaks. I look at him, I say, no, look at this guy. He's just like his mother. Even today, when someone calls me from Charlotte and from Raleigh, and he says, Maulana, I remember his mother immediately. Maulana. So from this we come to a conclusion that every child learns the language of the one who takes care of him. And that's the greatest thing which I'm going to tell you. None other than the Prophet ﷺ took care of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. So if you want to know the language of the Prophet, you have to listen to Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. So from this we come to a conclusion that yes, he has the nerves, he has the nature, he has the body, he has everything, but he is lacking one thing, and that is the religion. He is lacking the religion. And what is the religion going to do? Teach him what is good for him and what is from the things which are good according to your nature. Religion is going to select what are halal, what are wajib, what are makruh, what are mustahab, is going to differentiate so that you can analyze and you can start to eat. Today, eating meat and eating chicken, and there is the egg guy, ande wala, he keeps on saying, you have to. No. It is not what we eat which matters. It is what we digest which matters. What we observe. Even if we eat the best, but we don't absorb anything and our liver doesn't process anything, it doesn't matter. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam used to eat barley bread. I do not know how many of you eat barley bread. Barley today and oats is one of the best things to take care of your stomach. And if we as Muslims and Shia would have practiced the sunnah of Imam Ali alayhi salam from our childhood, we would never had this problem. So from this we come to a conclusion that yes, the ladies and the men, the fathers and the mothers have a responsibility to take care of their kids and bring them up And today, very sadly, I have to say that our teachers and our professors and our educators are not the parents, but the TV. We just take the kid and we put him in front of the TV. And then we come to the Maulana at the age of 16, said, Maulana, my son doesn't listen to me. He said, your son is not going to listen to you, he's going to listen to the TV. Because that is the habit he has already got. So anyway, the ladies, since they have this natural thing in them, which is known as being nudges for 3 days or for at least 3 days or maximum 10 days in a month, they are not given this job of becoming a prophet. Are there ladies who are better than the prophets? Yes. There are ladies who are better than the prophets, all the prophets. Name them. One of the names, Maryam Salamullah. Maryam was better than the prophets of her time. There was no one equal to Maryam. That's what the hadith of Rasulullah says, that if anyone would have been equal to Maryam in the status and the level of Iman, then Maryam would have got married. But Allah saw that Maryam was above everyone, so she did not get married. But a lady is not perfect unless and until she gives birth. So to make and keep Maryam perfect, infallible, Allah gave her a son without a father. After that we come to Fatima Az-Zahra salamullahi alayha. And the hadith of Rasulullah says, Lawla Ali lama khalaqtuka. Lawla Ali lama kana li Fatima kufr. If Ali would not have been there, there wouldn't have been a kufu, a one who is equal to her. Min Adam ila Qiyam. From Adam till Qiyam. So you see that this great lady is not only Afdal from all the men of her time, but she is Afdal than Adam and Nuh and Ibrahim and Musa and Isa. But you will see that to make them Afdal, Allah has given them the infallibility and made them Azra and made them Batul. You know the meaning of Azra and Batul. If they would not have been Batul and they would not have been Azra, they wouldn't have been Afzal than the Anbiya. They are Azra and Batul, so they are. So the ladies, their only thing is not because of their intellect or because of any discrimination, but because they have this natural necessity in life. That's why Allah has not made them the prophets. The ayat of the Quran says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا قَبْلَكَ إِلَّا رِجَالًا. We have not sent before you a prophet as prophets, but only men. But nuhi ilayhi. We send our revelations towards them. So from the list of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wassalam, all are men. I'm repeating this all the time. All are men. This is a very bad age of life we are living in. There are so many kinds of human beings around. But Allah is saying, we have sent only men. And from them is Adam alayhi salam, Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam, Ibrahim and Musa and Isa. If you look at this category of the Anbiya alayhi salam, there is Abd Saleh. The higher status of Abd Saleh is Nabuwat. and then the Risalat, and then the Ulul Azm, and then the Khatam al-Anbiya. So if you look at this, none of the Nabis are like a Rasul. And none of the Rasul are like the Ulul Azm. None of the Ulul Azm are like the Khatamun Nabiyyin. So when Ulul Azm cannot become like Khatamun Nabiyyin, how can we Muslims become like Khatamun Nabiyyin? The Prophet is like us, but we are not like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Say sallallahu. So here, the ayat says very clearly that men have been made, and these men had to be having these qualities. The first quality is they should have knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Not the knowledge which we seek from each other, but the knowledge which they receive from Allah. So that's why the ayat continues and says, Nuhi ilayhim. We send revelations to them. So this knowledge, which is gifted knowledge, and ilm ladunni as we call, is given to the prophets of each age so that they will not be telling anyone who asks them a question, I do not know. If anyone says, I do not know, then he is not a prophet. He is not an imam. He is not a hadi. That's why you see our Aimma alayhi salatu wassalam, when someone asks them, are you the alim of the ummah of Rasulullah? This question was asked by the monk, the Christian monk, to Imam Baqir alayhi salatu wassalam. Are you one of the ulama or the scholars of that ummah? The Imam did not say, I am the alim of that ummah. No. Imam gave him a short reply and said, I am not a jahil. If Imam would have said, I am the alim of the ummah, that monk would have asked, in what subject are you the alim? So Imam closed the whole chapter itself by saying a single statement, I am not from the ignorant ones. So all the Aimma alayhi salam, if you ask them a question, they are going to say, give you the answer, and they are never going to say, we do not know, or we are going to refer to books and then reply. No. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam, Umar al-Khattab came and asked him a question, and at that moment Imam alayhi salatu wassalam was mounting the horse, and he asked the question, and immediately Imam gave him the reply. I've read this event, so I'm not going to go into the details. Umar immediately said, Ya Ali, why don't you think for a while? Think for a while, like we do, comprehend, conceive, and then bring back to memory, and then analyze, and then give the answer. So Imam Ali alayhi salam looked at him and said, Ya Umar, there are how many fingers in your hand? He said, 5. He said, you didn't think over it? You didn't ponder over it? He said, yeah, Ali, this is in front of me. He said, just like your hand is in front of you, the whole Quran is in front of you. And from this, we come to that hadith which has been narrated by Suyuti in Durr Mansur. Suyuti says in Durr Mansur that this hadith and riwayah that Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam used to complete the Quran so fast that when he used to put his leg into one saddle, and before the other leg could reach the other saddle, he used to finish the whole Quran. It is logical. When something is in front of you, You don't have to read it. You have to just look at it and you have the whole picture of it. So Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam used to read the whole Quran in that fraction of the second. And Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam says for Habib ibn Mazahir that Wallah, I know Habib ibn Mazahir that he used to complete the whole Quran in one night. So amongst us there are people, and there was Hafiz Kifayat Hussain in Pakistan. He used to recite one chapter of the Quran in 17 minutes. So there are so many people, but here, whom Allah has made the Hadi, then He has also given him the capabilities. And here Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was not only similar to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was the nafs of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, for whom the Prophet has said, Ali is from me and I am from Ali. The word min, which has been used by the Prophet, has not ever been used for any of the companions except Salman Farsi. This min, he has never called anyone and said, you are from me and I am from you. He has either said the words for Imam Ali or Fatima Az-Zahra or Hassan or Hussain or Salman Farsi. What is this min? The min is meaning, I'll give you an example. If you have a Quran and it is covered in a cloth, rahel, and you bring the rahel and give it to me, I'm going to say that this is the rahel of the Quran. But if you tear a page from the Quran and bring it and give it to me, I'm going to tell you that this is from the Quran. So you understand what I'm saying? One is from outside the Quran and the other one is from within the Quran. The min tells us that Ahlul Bayt are not the outer surrounding of the Prophet, but they are the inner circle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's why the responsibility of delivering the Quran or the message of Allah for the first time is in the hands of the Prophet. No one else can deliver that message except the Prophet. First, the Prophet has to deliver. He has to recite the ayat. He has to explain the meaning. And he has to explain the ta'wil and the implementation of that ayat. Then the others will follow. If a situation arises where Prophet is not there, but the message has to be delivered for the first time, the Prophet cannot reach that place, but the message has to be delivered for the first time. The Prophet sent Abu Bakr, go and deliver these ayat of Surah Barat. I've told you that the ayat of Surah Barat are being delivered for the first time for the kuffar of Mecca. So Jibreel comes down to Rasulullah and says, no, Ya Rasulullah, Abu Bakr cannot go and deliver those ayat. Either you go and deliver, or the one who is from you will go and deliver it. Rajulun minka, or a man from you has to go. So Abu Bakr was called back and Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was sent. Why? Because the manner in which Rasulullah would have recited the ayat, Ali also is going to recite in the same manner. And the knowledge which Rasulullah would have delivered with the ayat of the Quran, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam will deliver. This whole event of Barat itself tells us that after the Prophet, if anyone is capable of taking the place of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the one who is preaching and delivering the Barat, Surah Barat to the kuffar of Mecca. Say salawat. There are, in these prophets also, there are different stages of infallibility. I'm very sorry for the family who just lost a beautiful member of theirs at a young age. But you know that Allah has kept this concealed from us. The time of our birth and the time of our death. And as I know that if a person knows that he's going to die, then as the time of death nears, he is going to become sorrowful and depressed. So Allah has kept these two things concealed from us so that we may live in this world. And like Imam Ali alayhi salam says, live in this world as if you are going to live forever. Yes. And prepare for your death as if you are going to die the next moment. So you have to be prepared also. So my condolences to the son and the families, and may Allah bless his soul, and may Allah take care of this family. Say as-Zahra. So the infallibility differs amongst the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, and the last portion where you reach the infallibility is the question of Ibrahim alayhi salam. The beginning is the Tarki Awla of Adam. This is the infallibility. And then you have got the Tarki Awla of other Anbiya about Nuh. And Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was at a position of imamat, where he did not have Tarki Awla, but he had a question, and that is repeated in the Quran. Kaifa tuhyi al-mawta? How do you bring the dead to life? And the ayat of the Quran, and Allah says, Awalam tu'min? Have you not believed? Believed here is the meaning of certainty. Are you not certain, Ya Ibrahim? Ibrahim said, yes, I am certain and I have believed. وَلَكِنْ لَيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. But I want my heart to be at rest. So for the itminan of qalb, for the itminan of the heart, he asked the question and he was given the answer practically. But Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says that I do not just have ainul yaqeen, haqqul yaqeen, but I also have baradul yaqeen. Say as-Zahra, please. Haqqul yaqeen is the real truth. Ainul yaqeen is the truth which you see. For example, if you see the fire, it is ainul yaqeen. If you feel the fire, touch the fire and feel it, then it is haqqul yaqeen. Badul yaqeen is when you have a certainty and someone gives you that same certainty, you become mutmain. You get that warmness in your heart. So Imam Ali alayhi salam is the only one who has given this hadith to us, that after haqqul yaqeen also there is a stage which is known as baradul yaqeen, the coolness of certainty. You have never felt that coolness of certainty. When you feel that coolness of certainty, then you will feel your tears rolling down your eyes and you get goosebumps. You have been to Karbala, inshallah, mashallah, and if by any chance, at any moment, you have entered the shrine of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and said salam, and you are certain that you have got the reply from Imam. Or when you're praying your salat, you're certain that this salat of yours is being accepted by Allah. Or when you enter into the Kaaba and the Haram for Hajj, and you just think that, am I really here? Then you start to see you feel those tears coming down your eyes. This Bardul Yaqeen is very difficult to achieve, but we do achieve it. This infallibility which Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam has is known as infallibility mutlaqa, ismat mutlaqa. How much mutlaqa? A person who commits a sin is not infallible. Now look at Imam Ali alayhi salam saying, Law awtitu aqalimus sama. If I am given the control and the hukumat of the 7 continents, ala an asilla benamlatin, on this that I should disobey Allah for the sake of an ant. What is this ant doing? The ant is carrying the skin of the barley in its mouth, and someone asked me to snatch away that skin from the mouth of the ant, and I would get in reward for that the control of the 7 continents. I would not do it. Can you just imagine the smallest sin? This is, I think, the smallest sin you can even think of. And Imam Ali alayhi salam says, I will not do it. So the ismat of Imam Ali alayhi salam and the adalat of Imam Ali, the justice of Imam Ali alayhi salam, can just be thought over and ponded over from this small ant, for which Imam Ali alayhi salam, I will not snatch away that skin from the mouth of this ant for the sake of the whole world. And now Ibn Abbas is saying, Ya Ali, why are you removing Muawiyah from the governorship of Damascus? It is not at all diplomatic. It is against politics. Imam looked at Ibn Abbas and said, Ibn Abbas, what are you thinking? What are you thinking about? Your whole Khilafah is not worthy more than my shoes if I do not implement justice in it. Now the second statement is very big. The second statement is, if for a second Muawiyah is governor of Damascus in my Khilafat, I will have to bear his responsibility. Right? This statement, Imam said it, but it also goes back. What about those people during whose Khilafat Muawiyah was given the freedom of being the governor and torturing the Muslims? So in fact, Imam Ali alayhi salam also told us about the character of the Khulafa who were before him. And then, when he was there for 3 years, he did not even take a shirt from the Baitul Mal. And when Aqil Aqil came to him. He was blind. Aqil was blind, and he came to Ali and said, Ya Ali, give me a share from the Baitul Mal. He said, you already took your share. He said, give me something which you will give me next month. Give it to me in advance. He said, no, this is Mal al-Muslimin. I'm not going to give you. Not only this, Imam brought 2 iron rods which were red hot and took them near Aqil. Aqil said, Ya Ali, are you going to burn me? Imam said, Ya Aqil, you cannot bear this heat of fire of the iron rods which are burning red, and you're pushing me into the hell? Aqil, the brother, the real brother, and Khilafat. Baitul Mal is there, but Imam is not giving anything to him. And Maududi writes in his book, Khilafat and Mulukiyat, that the one who has benefited most to his family is the 3rd Khalifa. All of them became rich. And here Imam Ali al-Islam is asked by his brother and he's not helping him. And in response, what did he say? Then allow me to go to Muawiyah. He said, you are free, you can go wherever you want. I will not stop you. Aqil did go to Muawiyah. But he did not go there as a beggar. He went there as a noble Bani Hashim who wanted to give them guidance. Muawiyah did give him money, but when the time came to speak, he spoke in favor of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam and also in the favor of Bani Hashim. Abu Huraira says a very good thing, and he says that whenever I want to eat something good, I come to you, O Muawiyah. And whenever I want to pray sincerely, I go to Imam Ali alayhi salam. So we today, in this session, come to a conclusion that those men who have become prophet have been given knowledge by Allah, and through that knowledge they have been given the infallibility with which they will implement justice in this world. And whoever is not just will be removed by the just ruler. Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, when he left for Karbala, Ibn Abbas came to him and said, Yalla Rasulullah, if you are going to Karbala, why don't you go alone? Why are you taking Zainab and Kulsum with you? The response from Imam was, Sha Allah an yarahunna samaya. Allah wants to see them prisoners. It is very clear that every single action of Imam Hussain alayhi salam was according to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here in Karbala also, when he is going to the battlefield, he gives Zainab a great responsibility. The first responsibility is, Zainab, take care of my family and my son, Zainul Abidin. The second responsibility, when you go back to Medina, tell my salam to my Shia. The third responsibility is, take back my family to the shrine of my grandfather Rasulullah. In the Ashura and in the 10 days of Muharram, you have listened to the martyrdom of Shuhada Karbala and the Messiah of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Zainab was Sharik over there too. But after Karbala, it is the Messiah of Zainab Kubra. On the 11th of Muharram, ten horses were prepared to trample the bodies of the Shuhada. And those relatives of the Shuhada who were in the army of Yazid, they came and they removed their Shuhada. And it was only Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam and a small baby of 11 years, Abdullah, who was next to him. And these 10 horses were not running over the body, they were prepared to trample the body. I cannot tell you anything else except these words, that one of the persons, when he was captured by Mukhtar and he was asked, what did you do? He said, I was from the one who has trampled the body of Hussein. He said, how did you do it? How did you feel? He said, I felt the ribs off. I don't read this Messiah. But I can only imagine that Zainab is standing over there and Kulsum is standing over there. She turned towards Medina. Ya Jadda, Ya Jadda, Salla alayka malaikatu sama. Oh, grandfather, when you died, the angels of the heavens came down and prayed on you. Wahada Hussein, but this is your grandson Hussein, who is all blood and flesh. May Allah keep you away from all the difficulties and all the problems. But here Zainab has to gather the whole family, and the family was then put onto the camel backs, which did not have any saddle or anything. And when everyone has been sat on the camels, it was only Zainab Kubra who was left alone. At that time, she remembered Abbas her brother Abbas, when he brought them from Medina, and she looked at the place where Abbas' body was lying down. She said, Ya Abbas, you brought us from Medina with great care and respect, and today there is no one even to make me sit on the camel. At that time, Zainul Abidin came forward and said, Ya Ma, your aunt, I'm here for your help. Because Zainul Abidin tried his best to lift up his aunt and make her sit onto the camel back, but he fell down, and at that moment she could see and read from his face that his face is becoming pale. Zainul Abidin, I see that your face is becoming pale. He replied and said, Ya Amma, don't you see that these people have already buried their najis bodies, but the body of my father is lying on the sand of Karbala, and my hand is وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلِبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ. Oh Allah, by the grace of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, accept our amal, accept our azam, and through our azam give condolences to Fatima Az-Zahra salamullahi alayha, and the Imam of our time, Imam Asr ajalallahu farajahu sharif. Oh Allah, by the grace of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, give shifa to all the mu'mineen and mu'minat who are sick. Oh Allah, by the grace of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, give a high place to all our marhumeen in the neighborhood of Ain Mayat Har. Oh Allah, by the grace of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, Protect all the mu'mineen who are around the world from the evils of the enemies of Ahlul Bayt in Islam. O Allah, by the grace of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam, give us an opportunity and the means to do the ziyarat of Ahlul Bayt. O Allah, hasten the zuhur of Imam Asr ajalallahu farajahu sharif and make us one of his companions.
Mohammad pa qiyamat ki ghadi hai, kya baris tatheer pa uftad badi hai, ye dukhtar Zahra hai jo balwe mein khadi hai, बीमार संभलता नहीं कोड़े हैं बरसते, आकाश उठो आग लगी जलते हैं खैमे, آشورا شنیدی گر صدایم شنیدی گر صدای مادرم را صبر کن خواهم گلی گم کرده ام می جویم او را گلی گم کرده ام می جویم او را و هر گل می رسد